I'm looking. So good morning. Good Saturday morning. And by the way, Kim, I know you're with us this morning, so I'm going to give you a shout out. I wore a shirt just for you. I got my Smoky Gray Vol shirt on, just so you know, just for you, Kim. Anyway, just going to give Kim a little bit of a hard time because I'm sure she's going to come back and go ahead. I'm ready.
Roll Tide.
I knew that's what you're going to give me. So there's no way that's not coming. Of course, now next Saturday, I will wear the full-blown orange shirt for you, Kim, so because we get to play the Tide. But at any rate, guys, we always have a lot of fun down in the Southeastern Conference, folks. You'll know why we're so passionate about our football. There's nobody that don't know who's their friends' teams. And we do this all in so much fun. But we got some good things coming up. And Sandy, I know you're here with us, and I want you to talk about what we got coming up in Hot Springs because I'm looking forward to it. And I know I told you I'd let you know at the last minute, but as you already know, I've already committed that I will be there on November, I believe it's the 5th. Am I right?
That's right. That's right. November the 5th here in Hot Springs. We're looking forward to it big time. We are having a Super Saturday, 9 to noon. And if it goes that, it may go longer, it may go shorter. But all I know is everybody, myself definitely included, needs to learn this Renew system of growth. This is the biggest thing ever. And it's time to just jump on it and let's go. So we're welcoming everybody to come. And if you have any questions, give me a call. I put my phone number in the online and in the app. And so y'all come. If you have any questions, holler at me.
Sandy.
Yeah, get some more details.
I know that event is going to be absolutely amazing. I know Brent Palmer's going to be there, Andrea, Richard Tuggle, a lot of that Richard Hawkins, a lot of the Jonesboro group that always are here on Saturday mornings. Y'all are going to have an unbelievable time. I apologize I can't be there. I do have to be at a football game actually in Arkansas. My son will be playing at Arkansas that day, and I can't miss it. But I will be there in heart, and hopefully somebody will Zoom it live and I can kind of watch it as I'm tailgating up there. But Sandy, since you're with us this morning, tell us a little bit about your start. I know you got your start in the Lemieux company, and what everybody tells me about you, you are a unbelievable product testimonial, business testimonial, stability, positive. Everybody just always bragging on Sandy. So will you tell us about how you got started?
Yeah, I will. Thank you for the nice words. Actually, my husband and I joined Lemieux when it started, and we were an original. And basically, my husband worked the business very diligently. Everywhere we went, people knew this is Leroy Lemieux. The name went hand in hand, and he worked it very hard for many years. And I worked with him, and we had our meetings and all that. But I was on a 9-to-5 job or 8-to-5 job, which was pretty kept me from getting out and being out in the public a lot. But anyway, he worked it for many years, and then he got sick. And when he was sick, of course, we didn't work it much at all. But we had already grown such a group that we were still making money, even though we weren't really able to work the business at the time. Anyway, my husband passed away, and I didn't work the business per se for like 2 years. I just let it sort of dwindle, but my people were still there. Everybody was still there. I never clocked out. I stayed with it. And when the BMWs were introduced with Lemieux, now this is before my husband passed away though. The BMWs came to be, that blew Lemieux up. It was hyper growth. And that's where I believe we are right now with Renew. We have got to get a hold of this. We've got to participate in this. If your business is not moving, it will with Renew.
Look at that shirt.
That is an awesome shirt.
You got to see all of it. No age limit.
Age limit. I like it. That's really the truth. So is there anything else we need to know about Hot Springs? It's going to be that morning on Saturday morning, and it'll go half a day basically, and we'll stay over for those. And I've already committed to some of my group that will stay late if they want to. But we're going to be there from 9 to 12 officially. Is that correct? And is there a charge on the room? Do they need to do anything?
There is no charge. We're not charging for the room. Oh, wow. We will. We're looking for a place to maybe have a little get together later in the afternoon if anybody wants to come. Hot Springs is a resort city. It's beautiful. The leaves are changing. Just to be able to go downtown and look around and all, you'll love it. You'll love coming to the town. And we're going to try to make your stay the best in the world.
Sandy, I think everybody out there wants your shirts. You may have to put your email or something in there and let people contact you. I don't know if you made them or you got them from somebody or what.
Shauna Needham did this. Our own Shauna did this. So, yeah.
It's awesome. And you've been around Sandy for a long time. You got a question for her?
Yeah, I actually do. Knowing Sandy for so long, Sandy, I know you mentioned it, but I really want you to kind of put a little bit more emphasis on that specific part, because you were there at the beginning where things were just kind of going along, kind of like it was already with RX and New Age, and then it happened with that program. That I remember the BMW program, and it just felt like anybody who even just came and listened and sat down and you just invited. The more people you invited, the more people you had opportunity. What would you say? Why would you say that's a big emphasis for everybody just to start plugging in and doing something every single day right now, Miss Sandy? Because I know you experience it and you've experienced residual income from it, and it's a big, powerful thing. What's that been, almost 20 years now, Miss Sandy? A residual income almost. And why would everybody need to really, really dive in right now? Why would you say that, Miss Sandy?
There was nothing bigger than the BMW program. When everybody saw those BMWs at convention, I mean, it went wild. It was almost like becoming, you were somebody if you were driving a BMW. And when we were going to other conventions, you watched to see, is there another BMW coming down the road here? Are we gonna, we looked for our reps out in their BMWs. People wanted the car, but people found out that by wanting the car and working hard for the car, that they were growing their business like crazy. And it just blew up. It was extraordinary. And I think that's where we are with this Renew. It's going to be that much or more.
I have no doubt, Sandy. And it's not what you're making here, it's what you're creating. I was with David Daughtry last night, who just had triple bypass surgery. And for 3 weeks in a row, he's now made just shy of $1,000 in income, not capable of doing any work here. So he didn't get paid the last 3 weeks based upon what he did the last 3 weeks. He got paid based upon what he'd done the last couple of years, which sounds like the same thing that happened to you. You went all in for a period of time, you and your husband, and then you had the tragedy in your life and you took some time off, but the paychecks kept following you. That's what this is all about. That's the part that's hard to understand when you begin, but it's the most important part of what we do.
Absolutely. It was incredible to have that group and not only the paychecks, but the people that stand behind you, lifelong relationships. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you, Sandy, for being here. We're going to go to Richard Tuggle here in just a second, who's your counterpart over there in Arkansas that I know that will be there with you. He has an amazing story. We're going to get his whole journey, his take on the event. But since we've talked a little bit about Renew with your shirt, we've got one person we're going to add in this morning for just 120 seconds. But Ernest from Huntsville, Alabama, working there with Sonia Enfinger and Kim, if you ran numbers, his business probably for a new person is growing as fast as any new person in the company. I think that team has added probably 50 people in the last 6 to 7 weeks. Ernest himself has signed up personally over a half dozen, and he's got 2 or 3 of his personal sponsors now that have sponsored a half dozen. They're running a contest within their own team. So Kim was telling me numbers yesterday. So I know Ernest has got 5 or 6. And then 2 of his personal sponsors have like 5 or 6. So I think that's Dr. Rice and then one other person there. But Ernest, you left Huntsville yesterday, drove to South Alabama, where you're from. I know why you're so successful is because you went to your 50th high school reunion last night, and you look like you're only 50, but you're actually in your right around 70. So the Renew is definitely working for you. But you mentioned just when you hopped on here that you had sold a couple $100 worth of Renew 5-day trial packs at your reunion last night. So tell us how you did that and a little bit about the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. After we finished our parade ride and went back to the church kitchen to have dinner, we had some time between dinner and the game and football game. And the guys, most of the guys really have lost all of their hair except myself and one other guy. And I said, Ernest, what are you doing? You know, and the other guy was all gray and I have a little gray. I said, I'm glad you asked that. You see this backpack I have? Give me about 30 seconds. And I set up everything on the table. And I say, hey, if you're interested in grabbing your health and take control of your health, just give me 15 minutes. And when I finished, I had about 5 of them to say, hey, you know, I want to try the trial pack. I heard about that HGH, and it's going to help me sleep better too. I said, absolutely. Trust me on this, okay? And really, a couple of other guys got some more, but the Renew went like hot cake. And I talked to them in detail about 20 minutes. I told them about the Zoom coming up on the 12th. And I think I have about 12 of my classmates will be coming up on the 12th to listen to more about Renew. That's what they want to know about. And of course, the skin drops, there are a couple that were interested in that, but the Renew, several of them said, I've heard about it. And I was able to show them a couple of examples of when I was bald in the top, showed the picture of that, and they didn't believe it. I said, check it out. There is hair in the top. I am no longer bald in the top. And that blew them away, really.
So, Chris, you got to get Ernest on that Tuesday night call, but it's got to be the men's only call. Ernest has got he's quite passionate like you are, Chris. So we can't do it this morning, but Ernest is loves that Renew also.
Ernest has been on there with me. We've discussions. We've already done that, Todd. We even embarrass ourselves sometimes a little bit.
Yeah, I don't come sometimes because y'all make me turn red.
I stay red, so nobody knows that I'm talking about it and getting them more red. But yeah, Ernest has been there with us. But the thing about the Renew is, and I want to reiterate what Ernest said. He mentioned something about weight loss, but he stuck with Renew. That's the gateway. Everything else will go. I mean, I was sitting there thinking about how much I love Limu and Limu. You got me saying it, Todd. I said it wrong that time. The Limu and how much I like it. But the fact is there's a lot of nutrition drinks we have. So which one do I concentrate on? So I love the Renew because it puts us all together with the HGH, which is a hot word. And I'm just seeing people, I got sample packs in yesterday, and I'm excited about it myself. It's what we're doing with the samples. I mean, it's just a simple way to get people to start on a product. And Ernest, you're a perfect example of somebody that doesn't try to reinvent the wheel, just simplified what he's doing, Todd. I think that's what, opening your mouth, being willing to talk about it. That's I guess that's my trade secret. You always laugh at me, Todd. You say you talk to anybody about it. I'm like, I got no reason not to. The worst thing they can say is they're not interested. I move forward. That's even if I don't know them, I talk to people. Doesn't mean I get them all, but it means I get appointments from it. So anyway, Ernest, thanks for sharing that with us. And
congratulations on your success, Ernest. You really are flying high. You're doing an unbelievable job. You and the Huntsville team, Sonia, Kim, all you guys. Okay, so now then, our second of our 3 incredible guests today. We ended up with 4 incredible guests, but the 3 that are on the flyer, Richard Tuggle. Most everybody knows him, but it's been a little while since he's been with us and shared. Let me get this pulled up. Matter of fact, Chris, why don't you go ahead and kind of tell Richard's starting point, and I'll be pulling up the PowerPoint with his pictures.
Well, I think Richard's one of those that's kind of interesting because when the appointment was set for me to stop and see Richard, I guess it's been 3 years now. He's the first thing he said was, I have 4. Has it been that long, Richard? Goodness, time flies when we're having fun. Richard said, I have no interest in the business whatsoever, but I'd like to lose about, I believe you said, Richard, about 40 pounds. Is that what you told me?
Yes.
40 pounds. Would that be accurate? And
yes.
Funny part is Richard didn't even read the box. He just bought the products, didn't even know what was in them, didn't know the names of them. He just said, send me that stuff that the nurse told him about. So Richard, I think it's better that we talk, you decide your health journey, because you went from, transformations are more than just weight loss for you. And you lost weight, but you went from losing weight and dragging a leg around to freaking going on a treadmill and exercising and running freaking 5Ks. Why don't you talk about that transition and what happened over the past 4 years?
Hey, okay. Richard, I'm going to ask you to do one thing real quick, because sometimes it becomes overwhelming when we talk about so much stuff. But as we talked yesterday, I want to go through everything you've taken. But I remember the first time I came to Arkansas, there were like 25 people in the room. Everybody had, and this is within like 8 weeks of y'all starting, everybody had already lost between 10 and 40 pounds. It was crazy what was going on there. But when I got there, nobody knew the name of the company. Nobody knew anything except they had this transformation. I think Pack C is what y'all were selling at the time. So will you start us at your starting point and then expand out what you've now added into the arsenal?
Yeah. And it was 4 years ago.
And will you go ahead and pull that up on your side? I'm getting kicked off. Thank you. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. And it was 4 years ago. To this month in October of 2018. And, that nurse that Chris was talking about actually had approached me 3 years earlier. And I just sort of blew her off because I was just fat then. I wasn't having, some major problems. And, but when she called me that second time, 3 years later, I was having some major chest pains every day and dragging my left leg around, thought I was going to have a hip replacement. And I was getting desperate, guys. And not only that, I'm a workaholic. And for a few years, I couldn't get my work done. Had several businesses, and it was affecting me all the way around. I said, sure, I'm going to try. I'll try anything. It really helped her. And then Chris came by and seen me the next day and got me started. But I started out with the Transformation Pack C, which was the drops, the MOA, and the Rejuvenex. And of course, I lost 65 pounds in 2 months, and then went ahead and lost the rest of it. Ended up losing 103 pounds altogether. But more than the weight loss, well, I'll tell you, I started taking other products. I was so impressed. I've got a list here of what I take every day, and I take, of course, I take those 3 products that's in the Transformation Pack every day. And I take Restorix about twice a week. I do the Renew every day. The Limu 5X, I mix it with the Noni juice, and I drink about a quarter of a bottle of that a day. The probiotics, Magna Cal D, the fish oil, the Giving Greens, BioPro Q, the vitamins, and the Vanillin. And sometimes I'll have the shakes. Just for dessert or whatever I want. Every now and then I'll have a shake or two. Now, the reason I take all that, it's for my health, but not only that, they do so many things for you, different things. And I can tell if I go on a vacation, I forget them, I can tell that I don't have them. And but more than that, your mind, it just hasn't given my life back. It's changed my life and family's life. See, like I said, I was a workaholic. I had a lot of things going, but it was affecting me, and I couldn't live my life like I could when I was young. I remember when I was younger, I had so much ambition. I was ambitious. I was ready to conquer the world. Well, guys, 4 years ago, I was just settling. I had really give up on life. I said, well, I've got what I've got, and this is what I'll have when I die. And I had 4 kids that I wanted to see them grow up to be entrepreneurs and stuff, but I didn't really feel like helping them either. But this had more than my health. It's giving my direction, my drive back. I feel like I'm 30 again. I've been able to help all 4 of my kids go in business. It's a positive mental attitude. when you're healthy, you have that. When you're not healthy, you can't help yourself, much less anybody else. And I will always thank God for all these products that RX has given us. And but overall, the quality of life for me and my family, I've got all my family on the products now, and it's just awesome, Chris and Todd. It's oh, by the way, Chris, I've gone as much as 12 miles running without stopping now. And so, I could even crawl on a treadmill 4 years ago. And I credit all this to our products.
He didn't make just a minor transformation. He started exercising, and he didn't do 12 miles at the beginning. I just remember him saying to me, I made it 15 minutes on a treadmill. I made it 20, I made a mile on the treadmill. I made 2 miles on the treadmill. Next thing I know, he's like, I'm beginning to wonder if he's like fudging me a little bit, give me a little network marketing numbers, because he's like, I'm up to 4 miles on the treadmill. But then after I see him at these places, I'm like, he has made such a dramatic health change. It's hard to explain the difference in his, not just the outward physical appearance, but for those who know Richard on a personal basis and hang out with him, you can see the difference in just the way he's everything, just the way he conducts himself, the way he does things, the anxiousness to get out and go places. I mean, every time I see you, you're posting something about another state you're in. So you're always traveling, doing things you want to be doing, that's for sure. So I think that's the main thing. So we want people to understand it's more to it than just the relationships, the health part.
Yeah. And Chris, you just pointed out something I think is really important, because when most people start, they can't really visualize where Richard is today. And to hear his story, it's hard to translate the 3-year journey he's been through to get to the point he is. But Richard, isn't it true that when you started, one of the main reasons you started with Chris is because your doctor told you that you were in some pretty serious trouble if you didn't make a change?
Well, I knew I was in serious trouble because of the chest pains I was having every day. I thought they were going to find me on a ranch back there on the back 40. My kids would find me one day, and just stayed scared to death, and by the way, I don't really go to doctors. So, but I knew I was in trouble, and, so I guess I was 57 when I joined the company. And just falling apart like a lot of 50-something-year-olds do. You neglect your body for so many years. You eat just trash, and after a while, it's going to take a toll on you. And but I tell you, my mental state, when you're unhealthy, you're not 100% at anything. Your business, your family, your love life, nothing is working right if you're not healthy yourself. And that's one thing that I think everybody on the call needs to work on that. And if you get your health back and like the way God intended for us to have, then everything else will fall in place. Your mind, and you'll find that people will start taking notice. And earlier, Chris mentioned Richard Hawkins. That man is a beast now. I mean, he had a 100-pound transformation also. And, but it's just the confidence. It's the way you walk. It's the way you talk. People notice that, and it draws. So if you want to help your business or New Age RX business, get healthy. Get healthy, because people will notice, and it'll give you a drive. It'll give you confidence because you've taken care of yourself first, and then you can take care of others.
Richard, let's answer this one question just in case, because you touch me on this. I mean, it's because I see it in other people sometimes. I see it in myself sometimes. We all know our mental state really rides with our physical state of health greatly. And when you don't take care of that, the mental state kind of correlates with it. So there's a book out there called The Tipping Point, and basically what it talks about is you do something and set something in motion, and that's really what you did. You did something for yourself. Richard Tuggle then joined you, and I mean, you'll have a whole army of people over there that have. I mean, we talk about you and Richard losing 100 pounds each. but heck, you get 30 pounds off of you, make some lifestyle changes, get some quality nutrition in you. Don't drink too much alcohol, drink more water, get good sleep. And but the last question I'm going to ask you, the approved food list that comes with the Slenderize, which is our weight loss product, can you tell us how closely you followed that? And kind of just because if somebody says, I want to do what Richard did, how close did you have to follow that to get your results?
Well, Chris sort of challenged me. And for 3 weeks, if I would stick to that food list, and guys, I have ate unhealthy all my life. And I looked at that food list. I said, I don't like nothing on here but the meat. Now I can eat meat. He said, no, it's a balance. He said, if you've got the guts to stay with it 3 weeks, that's not actually what he told me, but it's sort of like that. You know, he worked on my manhood. And he said, for 3 weeks, just stick with it. I said, well, I can, I'm a man, I can do that. Well, after a couple of weeks, I called Chris. I said, man, these drops have changed my taste buds. I said, I'm sort of liking broccoli. I never ate salads before, but I sort of like salads now. And he laughed. He said, well, it wasn't the drops that changed your taste buds. It's you got the poison out. The addiction is leaving, and your body is craving the good stuff. So I tell everybody, if you can stick with it for 3 weeks, that prove list, don't get a cookie a week later, because that just throws you into shock. If you can stick with it for 3 weeks, your body will take over, and then it's very easy to stay on that food list.
Yeah. So Richard, I am always trying to be healthy. And I take, just like you, I take every product we offer, from the liquid superfoods to the vitamins and minerals to the Manic LD. But on the weight loss side, a lot of it, and I'm one of those people, I've tried the 90 percentile for a long time, and I just could not lose weight. But my good friend David Daughtry had triple bypass, and I happened to be there the morning after surgery, and I thought the man was going to die. And when I looked at him, I realized he and I are the same age, and I don't want to die. He don't want to die. None of us want to die. We're all ready. I'm a believer, and I got no fear of death, but I'd just soon live as long as I can here. And I went all in 3 weeks ago when all this occurred with David, and I have not cheated. I'm talking about nothing. And what I have found, and I'm going to think this happens to everybody, is 3 weeks in now, all the things that used to kind of grab me, a little something here, a little something there, I don't even like it anymore. But I think it's because my blood sugars have leveled out. I upped my drops significantly. I did 4 or 5 a day that first 3 weeks, but now then I don't even have to do it. It seems like once or twice a day. I've got no desire. Did you experience the same thing?
Yeah, I did. Anything that had sugar in it after I got off, I stuck with that food list for a very long time. And I had lost like 60 pounds before I went to a Christmas, some type of a birthday party or something. And it was a cookie. It wasn't cake. It was a cookie, and that cookie tasted terrible. It was chocolate chip too, my favorite. And I took one bite of it, and I said, somebody don't know how to cook, but it does. Your body takes over. It's the weirdest thing. I'm not a doctor. Heck, I don't even like them hardly. But it's funny what your body will do. I've learned so much the last 4 years listening to people that do know what they're talking about, like Dr. Crystal and people like that, Dr. Ginger and Jane Boland, people like that that's been into nutrition. I've learned so much, but I know what my body is telling me. I mean, I've seen the results, and I know what my body is saying, and I've seen the results on many, many, many other people that we've been able to help. And the proof is in the pudding, but it's diet pudding or whatever, but it's in the pudding. You stick with the plan, it will work. And that Renew, let me get back to the Renew. I take it. I've taken so much together. I don't know really what all I'm sure it does for me, but I tell you, it's really helped my wife. she didn't want to take it for a while, and I was mixing it in her little drink that Noni and 5X that she takes every morning. She didn't know I was mixing it. And after about a week, I confessed that I put it in her drink and stirred it up. And with her giving greens, yeah, I confessed, and now she takes it. I mean, she knew there was something different, and so she's a renewed believer. I guarantee you.
Hey, just a little funny as we end this, Richard. When I was putting this PowerPoint together, I was just observing, but I mean, the white legs, the black socks, the short hair, you transformed all the way around. You got a tan, your hair's grown out.
Shorts to khakis and a belt and suntan.
Hey, for everybody, he showed up in Orlando, Chris. He had the Arkansas Razorback suit on. I thought he was coaching college football. You're inspiring, Richard. That's all I will tell you. It's quite the information. You should be very proud.
Well, when you was 300 pounds and looked like a whale, you didn't want to be in the sun. You didn't want nobody seeing that body. And, so that's but, you don't feel like going to the beach. You don't feel like doing anything when you're unhealthy. And when you're healthy, you want to be out. It's vibrant. You want to be in nature. You want to be with people. And it will change your life if you stick with these products and get healthy. I guarantee it.
One last thing.
Incredible.
You are going to be at the Hot Springs, right? You're going to be at the Hot Springs event. So if somebody wants some more details from you, you'll be there to talk.
Yeah, I'll be. I have decided, since we got a lot of this stuff over with the company and everything, it's ready to go. I'm ready to go forward. I think the reps are ready. So I'm going to be out and about a lot, not just the Hot Springs event. I'm gearing up, clearing my calendar to get after it. It's time. I think we've been through a lot, but now it's like a new beginning, and the company will be bigger and stronger, and I'm excited for the future.
Richard Tuggle, thank you for not just being here and sharing your testimony, but actually creating it. Because I would say over the next 10, 15 years, as this story perpetuates, there's going to be tens of thousands of lives that are going to be for the better because of what you stood up and did. I'm one of them. I stay really busy business-wise. I'm very, very disciplined there. This is what I do to make a living. But like I said, a snack at 9 o'clock after a meeting, just little bitty things that sabotage ourselves. And watching you and seeing what can be done, I'm like, if Richard Tuggle can do this, I know Todd Rowland can. So thank you for doing that for me. And Chris is going to owe me $500 because we got a running bet. It does come to an end. Whoever gets below 200 pounds first. So, Chris, get that money ready. And I know what you're going to say.
I'm not worried. I got the check written.
But our last guest, Chris, if you need to borrow some money, our last guest can help you out.
Borrow some money, that's right.
And if you can go ahead and pull up Kim Gray's screen there, can't brag on her enough. She is not only built, we mentioned David this morning, getting a couple checks just shy of 1,000. Kim is very seldom less than 1,000 a week. She's more like 12 to 1,500 a week. She probably in the last couple of years, probably the shortest time to her $10,000 bonus check, which she officially achieved on Friday. There it is, the screenshot in her back office. So all of you that log into your back office and you see that say 0, or you see that say $14.26, that's exactly what Kim saw. Probably not even 3 years ago when she joined. It probably took 6 months before she saw anything. But Kim, if you don't mind, will you take us back to that time frame when you kind of flipped from you were going to lose some weight, which you did, 92 pounds. But when it flipped over that you were going to build a business, can you talk about that savings account? Did you believe it then? Kind of tell us how your faith grew over time.
I did not really believe it until y'all started showing it. I didn't even know what it was. And it was about $3,000 in. And so my business grew so fast till from 3,000, it went from 3,000 to 5,000 quick. And so then about when I got halfway, which was about 5,000, that's when I started having goals, and I started setting goals for myself. And my very first goal was to always get $250 in my base commission to where I could see that. And I found myself, when the week started, I would always go and look at my volume, but I would always, the first thing I would do is to go look at that little green line to make sure it went across some more and see how much more. And it just kept growing, you know, and I was more determined after it got 5,000 to do my goal every week. And I did talk to someone in the corporate office, and I missed one time of not having nothing to go into my savings. And that was in the very beginning. So every week I had something going in my savings every single Friday.
Well, that's impressive, Kim. It's hard to put into words when somebody says you get a $10,000 check. I'm curious, how many $10,000 bonus checks have you gotten in the past?
Never, none.
I think that's one of the common denominators that we could ask everybody. How many companies do you work for that did above your normal pay just decides one day to send you a $10,000 bonus check? And I mean, we just had Andrew Rosser talk about that as well. You can see the glow in Kim's face, and she's not even giving me a hard time about Alabama right now. So the fact is that $10,000 check will make people a lot friendlier with each other, even during football season.
So
I'm sorry,
Kim,
I had to pick at her a little.
We all know your health story, so we're going to use you opposite of Richard today. You've had a financial transformation, and I'm just going to name some things, but I want the details from you. These are the things I know that have happened. You've paid off right out of $30,000 credit card bill. You've bought yourself you're 50 years old. You bought yourself your first brand new car ever. Your husband, he's not featured on the front lines, but Eric is equally as important in everything. He is so humble, behind the scenes, fixing stuff, carrying stuff, driving you everywhere. And you know that, so you immediately bought Eric a brand new truck as soon as you could afford it, and got him set up. And then you, with this $10,000 credit, this $10,000 check, I believe that's going to get you down to less than $10,000 you have on your house. So you're going to have a debt-free household, no debt to anybody, to include your house now in the next, I think your goal maybe is the next 12 months. You also been on disability your entire life and have been able to, now I would never encourage this. This is not, listen, I encourage you not to do it, but I'm just saying you on your own accord,
you did,
wanted the stigma off of you or whatever it was. You've made it on your own now, but you're just like Richard. I'm just so proud, stinking proud of you. What you've done, but give us details on that. Give us your journey mentally, how you were trying to get it done and how it came to be. And if there was negative parts along the way, share that, because there's no straight up ride.
Well, first of all, I prayed for something. I prayed for this, and God, I give him the first praise for helping me. But I never got any kind of negative, because you and Ken Bailey and Jerry was always in my ear telling me I can do this. And the support that I got from Eric, I'm telling my team, you've got to give your teammates support, because I was on the other end that like Richard said, I done gave up. I mean, I felt like this is the way I was going to be with my health. And then I have been on disability and on a limited income for so long, until when we got $200, we would thought that was like a $2,000. And I just got comfortable in that rut. But it took you guys to encourage me and telling me you've got to get out. I remember one time you told me you were really, really hard on me this particular time. And you said, Kim, you're in a rut. You've got to get out of this rut. And that was about 4 or 5 months after I got in. And I knew then that I either had to snap out of it if I wanted something better. And I never forget this. We were on our way to Huntsville one day, me and Eric and we were listening to gospel music. And it was like I passed the windshield. I could see something, and all I had to do is reach out and get it. And I told Eric, he looked at me and he said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm reaching out. It's right there. All you got to do is just go for it. The sky is the limit. And ever since then, I'm not stopping. There's no stopping to me. I am determined. Either you want to be on this with me, or, I mean, you don't have, my team, they don't have to be with me. You know, if I get on their nerves or if I'm too pushy, they can stop at any time. Or they can get on here and go to the finish line with me, because the sky is the limit. God has promised me that I am going to be a winner, and I intend to do that. So $10,000, I am thankful for it. I'm blessed. I'm glad to put it on my house, and I'm getting out of debt slowly. Me and Eric took a friend out to eat last night. Our bill was $114. I was so glad just to pay for me and my husband and her husband's meal. That makes me feel good. When I'm blessed, I want to be able to share it. So, you know, I've got to redo my goals now. And I intend to have some different goals. My goal now is to have a bigger, the end of the month savings check. I'm looking forward to that. And I just want to grow my team and help others. And I can't wait until David gets his $10,000 and Ernest gets his, and Sonia. I'm excited for them. So I've got to plug in and get going, because I want them on a Zoom call the same way that I am.
Yeah, so last thing I want to mention real quick, because the 3 names you just mentioned you have a lot of great people, not to leave anybody out, but those 3 have definitely risen to the top by choice. Everybody has the same choice, but I just going to give, for the ones out there that are wondering, is it ever going to work for me? She found David because she signed up this lady whose husband had knee surgery, Barbara Dean, and her husband had knee surgery, and David was the physical therapist that came to the house for rehab. And Barbara Dean called Kim and said, I just talked to my physical therapist. So here's what I want everybody to understand. That was all Barbara Dean did. From that point forward, Kim Gray attached to David Daughtry like glue on, you name whatever. And I used to say in the South, stink on shit. That's how she attached to him. Sorry about that. It just came out. I don't know where that came from.
I knew what you were thinking about. I didn't know you were going to say it. But she's the one that got David to a meeting with Jerry Halsey, a follow-up meeting, finally got him in. She's the one that helped him with all of his early meetings. And now David goes and does his thing and is now repeating that process with other people. Sonia Enfinger, she set up in a booth at a Christian's Women Retreat about 2.5 hours north of her house. So she drove up there. This is before she's making money now. She's brand new here. But she set up that little booth with her picture and her 3 products, Transformation Pack. Sonia Enfinger only joined for health. She was in a place in her life, kind of like Richard, wanted better health. She got on the MOA. She had an unbelievable transformation on her ability to feel good, walk again. But again, Kim then attached to her like glue and got meetings going with Sonia up in Huntsville. Now Sonia does that with other people. And then Sonia did the same with Ernest. And then now Kim attached to Ernest like glue. So that's her secret. Chris, you and I, and anybody that's had success, we all know it. They don't just show up and do it. There's an investment into everybody's lives when they enter your organization for a period of time, and then they can go be better than you. Just like
Chris, you're way better at this than I am. Every time I hear you speak on stage, I'm like, holy cow, that guy's good. Aaron and Ginger, I mean, like I was a part of y'all getting started. We traveled together for several years, but then you went on and did it amazingly better than I do it. So, but you signed up. Chris, go get them, and started, complaining because you weren't. You'd have never existed in the industry.
I think Kim said something that's so powerful, Todd, when she said she's excited about her $10,000, but you hear her talking about being more excited about the people in her business and them getting that. I think what you just said is what some people always want to reinvent the wheel, and they want to try to figure out a shortcut or another way to do the business. And I'm not saying you can't find one. There may be some. Renew, I think, is a new shortcut, a new system, but it still requires the same basic fundamentals never change. Coach Rowland will say in football, there's a certain things you never change. I heard somebody say once that Vince Lombardi said, this is a football at the beginning of every NFL practice. Well, in our industry, what Kim said covers everything. She pours herself into her people. She pours herself into the success of her people. And she didn't accept. She's not going to accept anything less than what she's after here. Whatever that decides for you and for everybody, that is a different thing. But Kim's has changed. Originally, she just wanted to feel better. Originally, she just wanted to lose some weight. Now, she wants it all. How's that? I'm gonna just say it for you. You want it all. You love the health part, but you want the second stage. And I see people that tell me that. I refer to what my daughter says. She says people always come to the gym. By the way, not me, saying how they want to be in shape, and they want to do this, they want to do that. But the first time there's a slight bit of pain, then they want a shortcut to getting in shape. They want wear one of those vibrating belts that don't really have any requirement. So I see that in the network marketing so much when somebody's like, oh, things are changing and things are changed. And like, you know what? As I watch this, I don't know about you, but if I've done this for hard for me to believe, over 21 years, the stories always are the same. They pour themselves into people, and they make a decision they're going to do it. They don't try to reinvent things. And I don't know what else to say. Every time we have people on these calls, it comes back to the same thing. The most stable businesses in this company are those who do the basic fundamentals that have yet to change over 20, in my opinion. Now, we use tools. Yeah, we got Zoom. That doesn't mean you don't use other tools, but the basic.
Chris, it goes back to Richard said it on his 100-pound weight loss story. He followed the directions and ate the approved food list and took the products 100% the right way. He didn't cheat, he didn't vary, and he lost 105 pounds. And then from a business standpoint, Kim has been one of the most coachable people that I've ever entered my business. As a matter of fact, she will call and ask. And now then I hear her train people and I see what she does and comments she makes to me. I'm like, holy cow, this girl has freaking got it. But there's a lot of people that never get to her point. They start hearing these shiny objects everywhere. Oh, sign up, get rich online, do this, do this. And there is a part to all that. All that is important. Kim signs people up online. But the people, as a matter of fact, she signed 100 people up through Facebook post. But she don't have anybody through those posts that helped contribute to her $10,000 bonus check. All of those people were built in person. So growth is always going to be investment into people's lives. You can sign up customers and people all day long, a million ways. But if you want a forever income, you got to go build people. Anything you want to say in closing, Kim? And sorry about that. Chris and I are always over talking you. We take you for granted. I always thank you for putting all this stuff together, helping us run this smoothly. But anything you want to say or ask?
Well, I just want to congratulate Kim because I watched her journey since I've been here. Since we merged over, Kim had just kind of got started. And it's just awesome to watch her go. And one thing I can say about Kim is exactly what they said. She pours into her team every day, all day. She's pretty much 24/7 for them, 365. She answered or do it herself. And so I encourage everybody to do that just for their team. I don't care if you have one person on your team. Find a way. If they willing to run with you, find a way to plug in with them, walk side by side with them. And then you'll start to have leaders like David and like Sonya I watched Sonya grow. I remember when Sonya took the hike with us and Sonya was brand new Sonya asked a lot of questions. She asked a lot of questions. But now Sonya is getting it. Now she found her somebody named Ernest, and so you will get that. That's what I can say. Just watching Kim over the past 2 years. So Kim, you rock, and you deserve every bit of it.
Thank you.
Chris, it's been another awesome morning.
Last thing is, I'm not going to talk to Kim next Saturday, but
we might not should have a Zoom next Saturday with Alabama playing Tennessee. Alabama, the problem is Tennessee's probably going to lose today to LSU.
Probably right.
Alabama's playing Texas A&M without a quarterback. So y'all may both be going in that game with a loss. How's that sound?
Oh, listen to him.
You want to shoot me?
Him now he's trying to figure out. Ole Miss guy's trying to figure out how to way to separate us.
I don't think so.
Today. We're going to both be undefeated next Saturday. Then I'm not going. I'll just be happy.
Hey, we're all three defeated right now.
All right, we're all good today, guys. Great Saturday. We always enjoy it. I hope they're having a great event in Colorado Springs. I know we missed Brent, and Tracy's usually here with us, and I know there's all that group from Colorado Springs is having a great morning. And next Saturday we will be back, and there's so many exciting things happening. I mean, Richard alluded to that. I'm just really excited about what's going on. The 5-day packs are working for a lot of folks, and all they are is a gateway. Don't ever anticipate. It's not a build, a just renew. It's a gateway to the next level. So anyway, guys, have a great day. Richard Tuggle, thank you for being on. Sandy, look forward to seeing you in where am I going to see?
Springs.
Hot Springs. I can't even. I was going to say Sandy Springs, but Sandy's on the call.
Chris, there's a brand new good casino in Hot Springs. Don't let them get all your money when you go over there.
I've already looked it up. I've already got reservations at the hotel. Always work.
Somebody build it up. We're great to play.